Okay, so many things I want to say. Keep it brief, but it's few things because these are shifting times. And in some ways, obviously, challenging times, but also we always want to remind people that these are awakening times, these are transitioning times, and keep your, if you like, your focus on the destination. This is the first thing we want to say, because when you embark on a journey to somewhere new, and you haven't been at this place before, then there is always risk of wrong turn, delays, sidetrack, all these things that can befall your journey. And the clearest way to ensure that you get where you want to go is simply to know where you are headed. Now, when we lose track of what this whole damn thing is about, it's easy to get lost in the diversions. It's easy to get lost in the sidetracks. It's easy to get lost in the pitfalls, the waystays, all the things that can interrupt and feel like they can even thwart the journey. But they're just sidebars to the main narrative. And for those listening, the main narrative is not, as we have said, what the media is telling you or anything else. It is the transitioning to the new era. And when you lose sight of that one vital, crucial piece of information, understanding, knowledge, everything else dominates. And suddenly you find yourself that it is the diversions and the alleyways and the sidetracks that dominate your mind, dominate your energy, dominate your frequency. And all it can take is a momentary pause to remind yourself of where you're headed. This is the thing that must kind of sit overarching like a gateway, a doorway that you're passing through every day. These are transitions to the new era. We are walking to the new era. And if you lose sight of that one vital piece of information, hold on to that one piece of information, because when you don't, is when everything else swamps. Whether or not you're in lockdown, whether or not you wear masks, whether or not you have fear of sickness, whether or not you have fear of ever having freedom, whether or not you want holiday, whether or not you want to get healthy, whether or not you want to save people, whether or not you want to change. Any of these things that are, to be perfectly honest, dominating right now are the sidebar, not the main narrative. What you will find as these times progress is stuff shifting to the surface to be shone a light upon. But that's not the same as deliberately trying to ruffle feathers, to create diversions, to create animosity, to create fear, to create hate, to create all these oppositionals. Me versus you, you versus me, them against them, him against she. All of this is to create the frequency of anger, fear, hatred, violence that subvert us from walking to the new era and raising our frequencies high enough that this transition is smooth. We can't say, looking at it now, it's going to be smoother. So, what have we got bubbling away right now? So many different things. There's a light to be shone upon all adversity. So, when you have racism, it will come to the surface for a light to be shone upon it. But when it gets provoked, when it gets poked, so that people turn against each other rather than coming together, then you understand that there is a subversion occurring. When you have violence of any sort trying to become the main narrative in a way that says we must take a stand against a certain people as opposed to perhaps the attack, the violence, or the problem, you know it's being subverted. All humanity coming together is a problem for those who would want to see the transition times at the most prolonged. Because when you come together, there is a strength and a power. There is a frequency overload, if you like, that changes the pulsating vibration of the planet. It's occurring anyway. It will happen anyway. But each time man against man is pitted, that transcendence is delayed, diverted, the attention wanders. And what you find is it is driving a wedge between the natural tendency which will be occurring, has been occurring now for decades and will continue to occur, of coming together to solve the problems that are being shone the light on, do you see? So when something comes to the surface, racism, sexism, any kind of ism that is a prejudice, that is an issue that may be wanting to be resolved, it will be resolved from the coming together of all people, not the labeling of one people as the problem. You can't solve a problem by labeling one person as the problem, one species of people as the problem. You have to come together, and it's the coming together in the higher frequencies that will resolve all problems. But you can also put a wedge between people and pit one against another. And this is occurring and will continue to occur if you allow it. If you allow it. So where you see something that is resonating for you as intolerable, see that for what it is. A light is being shone down upon something that has been tolerated and is now no longer tolerated as we move forward to the higher frequencies. But do so with compassion, not vilification. Do so from a place of heart and soul and love, not fear and animosity and aggression. When you try to say you are the problem, you've missed the point. You've missed the point. These are collective issues that will be resolved collectively through the hiring of the frequencies predominantly. And that when you sit there and you label, or you castigate, or you have a go at a certain type of people rather than trying to all move on, collectively whole, higher and higher, you are allowing the diversions to work. Keep your eyes on the goal. Keep your eye on the main narrative, which is this is transitioning time to new era. When you keep that as your focus, everything falls into place. It's the only way it does. It's the only way it does. When you look at something and say, well, how the heck has this occurred? It doesn't make sense if you don't go to the fact that these are the transitioning times. When you witness, and we will tell you, you're going to witness more and more and more. That's the point. That's the purpose. That's the journey. You have to do some for compassion, from light, from love. You came for this. You came for this. And if you try to pick the holes in the narrative that's being presented rather than go to the purpose of this time, you allow yourself to be diverted from your light. You allow yourself to be subverted from achieving this transitional of smooth, easy flow. So we want to start with saying that there is a lot happening right now, and there will be more, and there has been lots, and it's two-pronged. One is, sure, things are coming to the surface to be dealt with, and you will only deal with them with a collective high frequency. But as these things are coming to the surface, wedges are being driven through sectors of society. Always have done, but it will become more and more apparent in these transitional times. More and more light shine on it for you to see. That you will have man versus man. And we mean that in terms of humanity versus humanity. In order to try and prevent you from actually solving the problems. You're not going to solve racism with laws, let's be clear. That's not worked so well so far. Because the laws aren't there to protect one person from another. They're there to enshrine the differences, not diffuse. You will solve these problems by coming into your own humanity, by coming into your own highest frequency, collectively around the planet. Everything occurring is to stop that happening. Everything occurring is to stop that aim. Collectively coming together in your highest frequency, all of these will be resolved. How do you maintain racism in a frequency of love and light and compassion? Your highest frequency. Compassion. How? You don't. You can't. How do you tolerate, as has been tolerated, injustice for so long? You don't in that highest frequency. Enough is enough, sure. But you don't go into the, hey, man versus man to resolve this. You're the problem. You're the one. No. Come together in your global citizenship of humanity. Higher and higher and higher and higher. That's how these problems will get resolved. Sure, take action. Sure. Make statements. Sure, feel it first is the predominant thing. Feel. Don't feel the anger. Don't get stuck there. Go to the compassion and go to the frequency that will allow you to find the solutions for all of the problems that are going to come to the surface in this time. And understand that these are not new. These are not new things that are occurring. They're just being brought to the surface because mankind is awakening and is ready to see what has occurred and what is occurring, and go to the solutions from the highest place. Not your base level of divisiveness, your base level of pitting person against person, group against group. It's that tribal instincts, that baseline, group against group, that has caused so many problems for humanity. When you are taught that your problems exist because this group exists, there's no place for that in the new era. There's no place for that. You need to go to a higher frequency. In that space, collectively, you will come together to resolve all the problems on planet Earth. So it's not against people who want this and people who don't want that, or people who like this and people who don't like that, or people who feel this way and people who feel... That's not the problem. You can have differences. In the highest frequencies, those differences become representations of a glorious global experience. And in that space, you welcome difference. You welcome opposition even, because it doesn't matter. In that glorious space, you are linked, you are joined, combined in a frequency of harmony. That doesn't mean there will be no difference of opinions. That doesn't mean that you won't have differences of likes and dislikes, of hopes and values. It just means that in that place of frequency of harmony, you will all coexist because everyone exists in compassion. So it's up to you, the people walking first, to bear that compassion within you now. If you find yourself being subverted from the main destination, the new era, stop. Turn off the media, turn off the news. However awful that news appears to be and you feel you need to be involved in it, turn it off. It's not helping. It's a distraction. If you can see it for what it is, issues rising to the surface with the light shine upon it in order to allow you to transcend those issues, then watch, observe, participate. But if you're going to allow it to divert you, to pit you against your fellow man, to take you away from your highest frequency, in anger, in pain, in fear, no, stop. Stop, turn away, turn off. And don't think that means you're turning a blind eye to the problems. You're just not feeding the problems. And there's a difference. Compassion is the highest frequency there is, and you will go there time and time and time again as this journey proceeds if you are willing to walk the walk to the new era. And you will find it hard sometimes. You will find it hard sometimes to find compassion for some of the stuff that is going to come to the light. But it is only through your collective compassion that you will transcend these issues, transcend these differences, come together in collective harmony. Oh my goodness, give birth to the new era. Give birth to the new era. There's so much division, so much hate, so much fear, all of this negative distraction, and we can't use a different word, because the coming to the light of these issues is one thing, but the desire to blame one group over another group is still those in authority in control. Is anybody blaming those who have allowed this to continue? Is anybody blaming the people who have wanted this kind of diversion? Or are you blaming another group that you perceive to be the problem, rather than trying to go to compassion and inclusivity, so that we can all work together to get to our highest ever frequency? And in harmony, all these problems will be resolved. And if you wish to take a stand, that's absolutely fine. We said before, we say again, there is a place for the physical. Make sure you get the energetical, spiritual right first. Don't go into a physical in a negative state of energy. Don't do it. Just don't do it. There is no good that can come from that. Get your frequency right. Get your spiritual aspect right. In that space, take a stand. Absolutely. But take a stand that's harmonizing. Take a stand that's inclusive, that seeks to bring compassion and resolution, not more anger, violence, and disjointedness, disharmony, and all these divisive tactics and tools that is pitting humanity against humanity. No. We don't need that. We don't need that. However disastrous something is bringing to the light, if you allow yourself to get into the role of I'm right, you're wrong, this is wrong and you're the problem, this is wrong and you did it, you're waylaid. You're distracted from the main goal. Stop. Come back to you. Come back to frequency. Come back to vibration. Breathe in, breathe out. Allow all to be. Allow all to be at this time. Because as I say, there is more to come. And if you're going to get distracted by every single problem being brought to the surface and get stuck in your frequency of anger or hatred or vilification, rather than pass through that, because we're not saying that they're not natural and normal reactions to some of the stuff that's coming to the light, but pass through that in your willingness to attain a higher frequency of compassion. Yes, compassion, because in that space all will be resolved. The journey gets easier, the journey gets smoother, the journey gets free, and we can move quicker and we can move easier. And the deepest, darkest pitfalls of this transition time do not need to occur. So we do want to make that point, because so many people here to hold the light are getting distracted into the occurrences of the issues being brought to light, rather than being the observer. They're being the poker. They're getting involved in the story themselves, energetically, physically. mentally, spiritually, getting involved in this. And that's why we call it a distraction. Not because it needs to come to the light, because there's so much that needs to come to the light and will come to the light. But it's the light that it has to come to, not get chopped off in the disgust, chopped off in the horror. You have to pass through that and bring light to these issues, bring light and compassion and a desire to resolve, not to vilify, a desire to harmonize, not more divisiveness. This is paramount and will continue to be so, because as may be apparent to many people, if they are engaging in the news, despite the fact that we have said don't, there you go. So that there is rumblings afoot between nations again, never stops. Again, obviously this is going to have to come to the light. And the people, the global people, the ordinary energy people will have to go to harmony, compassion and light to resolve this. Now, you have had a burgeoning anti-war movement, a burgeoning stop the bomb movement over the many decades. It wanes, it comes, it goes, depending on the frequency that is allowed to grow for a while, and then it's stumped out for a while, and then it grows for a while, and then it's stumped out for a while. And it's rumbling, you can feel it. What will happen? But you can't get into that feeling of pitting people against people, country against country, man against man, because you must go to that frequency that understands that the only way the new era is born is in oneness. And it's so damn easy. It's so damn easy, and of course it's so damn hard, but it's just that flip from me to we. Try it, yes? Oh no. Simple, yes. Easy, no. But practice it in your own lives. Practice it in your own hearts. Practice it. Take the person that irritates you the most and don't quit until you love them. What was she saying? Yes. Take the person that irritates you the most and don't you quit until you love them. Now you're the walker. Now you're the walker taking us to this birthing of the new era, because that's what it takes. And if it's a no, then do what you have to do to get there. Because I'm telling you now, it will take that commitment. It will take that level of desire to move us through these times as fast as easy as possible. And if you can't do it, who will? Your leaders? Your military leaders? Who, if not you, will do this? Do it now. Do it for yourself. Do it for your children. Do it for the planet. Do it for the progression. Do it for the transcendence. Do it for the illumination. Do it. Starts hard, gets easy. You find it within you. Oh my goodness me, it is possible to love the person that irritates you the most. Of course it is. And every single guru and religious leader and spiritual teacher has been trying to tell you the same thing for so long. Why? Because we knew it would come to this. If you can all get this, if you can all practice this, day in, day out, life in, life out, all problems cease. So it's not a small thing. It's not an easy thing, but it is a simple thing. Try it. That's what we urge right now, because if you won't, who will? Now, does that mean you have to love what they do? I think we know not. I think it means obviously not. Does it mean you have to love what they choose, their preferences, no, absolutely not. But can you love them no matter what? Absolutely yes. Take the person that irritates you the most and love them. Love them until that irritation dies within you. Love them until you feel the oneness of your soul merging with theirs in harmony for the planet. This is our number one call to action before all else, because the wanting to divide you, to pit you, the wanting to create disharmony, the wanting to stop this coming together in the highest frequency imaginable will bring this out time and time and time and time again. If you haven't managed to find within you a way of loving those that irritate you the most, you will be diverted, you will be taken away from the main narrative of transcension. So don't do it. Do the work now. So when they try harder, oh, look over here, this is the problem. Oh, look over there, we must fight them now. Look over here, this is who you must fight now. Hate this person, hate that. You can go to that ease and say, no way, I love them. I hate what they've done. I don't like what they choose, but I love them. And it is possible, and it is also absolutely necessary. So that's where we want people to go right now, because you can already see it, and it will get worse and worse, because every time they divide, they conquer. What do they conquer? They conquer your frequency. They conquer your frequency every time they divide you against one another. And it's that frequency that is going to get us to the other side, if you will, faster. It's not a coincidence. It's not a happy accident for them. It's purposeful. Delay the inevitable? Sure, why not? Maybe just maybe we'll stop it happening. No. You can't stop it happening. But we can make it bloody hard in the meantime. We can make it long. We can make it arduous. So let's do it. Cling on to our power for a little bit longer. No. You are in control, my dears. You are the power, because you are the numbers, and your numbers in frequency is unstoppable. Only you allow other people to lower your frequency. And when you do that, they conquer. So the divide and conquer will continue and continue and continue until collectively mankind goes above it. And it's happening. It's happening. Your job is to do it now. Your job is to say, no, I will love you. You irritate me more than anybody else, so it's my job to make it as big a love as I possibly can. And I can't say no, and I can't say I don't want to, and I can't say I won't do the work, and I can't say that it's impossible, because every time I say that, I am allowing the divide and conquer to win. Crucial times you are living in. You came for this. Don't be scared to do the work. Don't be scared to do it. You came for this, and you will achieve this. So do it now. Let's get going. There is a lot going to happen. I think you know this. Not all is going to be pretty, but it can be easier, smoother, faster. And it's down to each and every one of you that came to walk. You are the walkers, so get walking. Get walking now. What are you waiting for? What are you waiting for? You need to go up. You need to go up now. However you need to get there, you need to do it, and you need to do it now, and you need to walk forward in that light of hope. Walk forward in that space of knowing what you came to do. Forget the distractions, forget the sidebars, head for the main narrative. The new era is waiting and you are walking towards it so that everybody else can follow. If you don't walk, they have nowhere to go. Pave the way with your light, not your fear. So much more to say. We'll come back. Times are just getting started. We say that with love because it's a good thing. If you keep your eyes on the objective, it's a good thing. Keep your eyes on the objective. The new era. This is the pathway to the new era. Keep your eyes, keep your mind, keep your heart focused, and all is well. Much love.